So, you know how the whole point of this save was for us to be the one that comes up and overtakes the Moneybags PSG and overcoming, Moneyball versus Moneybags, all that kind of stuff, right? Stats versus purchasing power. That was the whole point of the save. And Ren have had a really good season. I keep saying to everybody on camera here, oh, do you know what? Ren have had a really good start, fair play to them, etc. And I thought, actually, do you know what? That team isn't that bad. It looks like they've spent a bit of money here. How much have they spent? I thought, oh, wow. Not many AI teams spend this amount of money, like, in this kind of scenario, right? They don't spend that much money ordinarily. And I thought, I wonder if they had a takeover. Yes, they've had a takeover. And welcome back, everybody, to Moneyball. Yes, Ren have had a Tycoon takeover. So that is unbelievably frustrating because not only is it not just us against PSG anymore for all the domestic competitions, it's now us, PSG, and Ren, another Tycoon team for us to have to compete against, which is incredibly difficult. And the second bit that's an absolute killer to the series was if we had any hope of us getting a Tycoon takeover, that's gone because the likelihood of there being PSG, now Ren have had a takeover and they got a Tycoon. The likelihood of us getting a takeover and it being a Tycoon, it's got to be next to zero, right? I don't know what the amount is, but I can't imagine it being very high now. So that is doubly devastating. I mean, I was happy to not have a Tycoon because of the type of series we're doing, right? But for them to have one is just a bit devastating. So now we're fighting two different teams that are full of money. I mean, they've not spent too much yet, I don't think. Second season they did actually. So second season, they started to spend a bit of money there. And yeah, so I still don't think they should be as high in the table as they are. They've done a pretty good job this year, but just going forwards, it makes sense now why one of our players said they wanted to join Ren. It said because they've got a better squad, better team, but I think it meant the reputation of the club and the team, right? It's probably what it meant, the player meant. Yeah, in terms of off-camera, we've had a bit of a disappointing time off-camera, trying to get this tactic to work a little bit. We're obviously out the Champions League, but the league table doesn't really matter. We're going to finish third, no matter what happens really here. I mean, there's only a few games left, don't forget. It's not the 4:30, we only play the 34, so yeah, we're going to play PSG today, then we're going to finish off. We'll play two games. We'll play PSG, and we'll play against Ren, because we could decide the title race here, because we play PSG away, and then play Ren. Now, I'm a little conflicted about this. Obviously, it'd be hilarious to stop PSG winning the title, right? It'd be absolutely hilarious. However, I was sort of expecting us to be the ones that sort of stopped this massive line of past winners being PSG, see how long it goes for. I mean, have they even won it before? Ren? I don't think they have, It'd be their first ever league title. Nope, never won it. Finished third twice. I'm pretty sure, unless Ren win it early against PSG, they're going to go into that last game, and it's all going to be to play for. And if we were to, play a week and signed all of a sudden, we could gift it to Ren, which I don't know if I can do that. What would you do in that situation? Like, in real life, it'd be easy. I would just play roughly your strongest team and let fate decide, really. I think you have to as a professional, really, but there'd be some people that may not do that. I don't know. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? But it may not happen anyway. Let's see what happens in the top race up to that point. But we'll play this game now. And I'm going to keep bringing you back for all the games against PSG because I want you to be with me if we get our first win in particular. And then we're going to play the game against Ren. Then we'll do an end-of-season review, do some stats review. And that'll be today's episode going into the big transfer episode, which will be either probably not the day after this, maybe 2 days after this episode comes out, probably be what it is. So the tactic then, we're going to play a Rafa Benitez Liverpool 2008-2009 tactical recreation. So we've got our Pepe Reina in goal, we've got Arbeloa, we've got Carragher, Hippier, and Riso across the back here. We've got Xabi Alonso, Mascherano holding, Dirk Kuyt, Riera on the wings with Steven Gerrard and Fernando Torres up front. It's not got a lot of instructions, which is quite nice about it, and it's pretty good defensively. And I think this might be a better fit for us playing against PSG with this team that we've got than the Mourinho one. So we'll see anyway, but I have a feeling this will work all right. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We have got Preacher out injured, Ibrahim's out injured, and that is pretty much it. Everybody else is fit to play. So your team is going to be Christensen in goal with Mensah, Badiashile, Christensen, and Mert Mulder across the back. Merlin, Samuel, and Osei Samuel across the middle, with DaCosta playing off of Boniface up front. They don't have Mbappe for this game, right? He's out injured. And he's out for 2 weeks, which could be a problem for them. They've still got a pretty good team. I just feel like that we should be able to beat that team, really. Like, I know it's PSG, but for a PSG team, I feel like we could do better than this. So, let's see what happens. Here we go. It's all on this. I mean, Ren will be cheering us on here. We're doing it for French. I would say we're doing it for French football, but they're not really the underdogs anymore, are they, Ren? I suppose they are this season, but Ren aren't doing it the same way that we are, you know. They're getting a head start that we don't get the privilege of having, so I'm a bit gutted about that. Mainly because I wonder how much more difficult that's going to make the series, which might be a good thing, to be fair, because we were finishing second, right, already, and we were well on course finishing second again. I don't think that they would have finished second this year had they not had the Tycoon, of course. But anyway, assistant manager says, nobody expects us to get a result. Go out there and play with any pressure on you. Okay. They play 4-2-3-1. We can beat that team. Come on, boys. And we are underway. Neymar with a free kick early doors, headed towards goal, and you've got to be shitting me. It's 1-0. Yeah, this tactic isn't going to be something long-term to play, I don't think. This was just for the PSG. Like I said, I had a couple of tactics to try, just one-off tactics against them. Here we go. We're in here. We're in. Victor's got to finish it. Torres. Oh, is it the beans, Jeff? Oh, and he's got it in. Come on, here we go. Victor Boniface with Fernando Torres, right? Him and Gerald getting in the way there, and they scored this 1-1. Come on, Paris FC. Oh, it could be costing them the title. Look at this, lovely. Oh, do you know what? That works really well. They got a bit calamitous, but Araujo tried to go through, and now the player missed it, and it's 1-1. We've got a 1xG so far. We're battering him here. We're absolutely battering him. I think because they aren't expecting us to play his tactic right. We've not played this at all. Surely. Oh, it's 2. Come on, here we go. It's 2-1 to Paris FC. Oh, they're panicking. They are panicking. It is panic stations in Paris, and it's for them, not for us for a change. It is 2-1. I can't believe this. Maybe it's the Rafa Benitez recreation. Where would you go with this? Oh, he tried to turn on it. Get out. Yes, Victor. 2-1. Okay, they've gone long. Oh, Badiashile, what are we doing? Sammy Hipper, you are not, son. Oh, yes, Mordor, get rid of it. Send it into... Oh, no, what are we doing? We're not a short passing team anymore, boys. 2-2. Okay, there's a highlight straight after the goal. Not sure what's happening here. Merlin. Back to Mensa. Back to Merlin. I don't think I've seen the match stats for ages because it keeps being highlight after highlight. DaCosta, please. Please. Samuel. Oh, it was nearly another one. Is it because we've caught them cold with the tactical change, or is this tactic just working really well for us? I mean, it's interesting. Oh, that was close as well. Okay, highlight here for PSG. They get to play it in behind. They go through. It's going to be a goal. Devastating. I thought we had a chance scoring 2 goals in the first half, but not the case. Okay, we'll say don't lose faith. The problem is we've gone into this game with no form. Like, we've lost 2 games in a row, which isn't great going into a game against PSG, of course. Osei Samuel's going to kill off because he's played absolutely shite, basically. Free kick to PSG, right footer. This is going to probably be a goal, or really close. Yeah, there it is. 4-2, probably game over. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought we had them really in this game. I think we were close to doing it as well. If you look at the XG and stuff in this game, it's been pretty impressive considering we're playing PSG away, right? I'm considering trying this tactic for the rest of the season and seeing how it plays out because it seemed to get us a lot of good chances. Like, we've created 1.5 XG away from home to PSG without any... That's no penalty. That's just us creating chances. And they've scored 4 goals from really low XG, which you can't expect that's going to happen every time. Like, eventually we're going to have a game where they don't score 5 goals from like a 1.9 XG because the goalkeeper's a bag of sand. But I say proud of the players because generally I am, but there's a few players that I'm not. I think the goalkeeper's a huge problem going into next season, to be honest. Right, I'll see you for the last game of the season. I'm going to play this Benitez tactic all the way through to that game, and we'll see how it comes back and see where we're at. We could drop outside the top 4 technically. It's getting a little closer, but I think we'll be okay. But I'll see you then in any case. Right, before we get to the end of the season and the next game, I thought I'd quickly show you this. We just played a match. We qualified mathematically for the Champions League. So our budget is going to be 11.96 million. Now, that is loads better than it has been the last few years. It's not great, but it's loads more. And the wage budget hasn't really moved at all, though that's not great. But at least we've got something to work with. And in addition to selling a few players, that could get quite a sizable budget for us. So it'll probably allow us to finally look at some higher-level players for once. It's still not going to be as much as the 2 Moneybag teams in the league, but the Moneyball team will carry on. We'll try our best. Right, here we are then. Last game of the season. Rennes and PSG, either of them could win it. PSG are away to Montpellier, and Rennes play against ourselves. And we have all the power in this title race, because I think PSG are going to win. And I think that we could get a result against Rennes if we wanted to. Or, I mean, wow. I say that. I definitely think we could get a draw. A win could be potentially difficult, but I think a draw would be on the cards. So I already knew what I would do in this situation, but I just quickly put it on Twitter to see what other people would do in this situation. Would you play it normally? Would you throw the game? But for me, there's an integrity thing. I don't think I can just throw the game and just play deliberately a team to lose the game. I wouldn't be able to do that. But there's a couple of tactical ideas that I've got and a couple of players that I want to play anyway in these sort of last games. So we're going to experiment a little bit in this game, but like if we go ahead and we start beating them, it's their own problem. They're going to have to win it. It's on them to try and win the title. We're not playing our most logical and best team though, I would say at the same time. So I'm going to play two Pep Guardiola recreations that I've sort of got that I wanted to try. And I thought a great time to try it would be right now. So in this first one, you've sort of got the back three in an actual back three in the game, and we'll see how they spread, and we'll see how it plays in the first half. Then in the second half, I'll probably make them into a proper back three. So they'll be like, as in full back, and centre back. And we'll see how that plays out. I'm trying to create the 3-2 build up. I'm just seeing what different ways we can get a 3-2 build up and it look the best for one, and then two, what works the best. Because we managed to get it pretty well in the other way that we had it. But yeah, let's see how this goes. So your team is going to be Christensen in goal with Badiashile, Jensen, and Mert Mulder across the back with Merlin as the left back. That's really just a left back, and that's going to be a right back. Maybe I could do that. Maybe so give it more balance. Maybe do that. Let's do that. Yeah, and then we've got Ndiaye. So really, Merlin and Ndiaye are the two pivots, really, essentially there. You've got Adele and then Preacher on the wings, with Garro, Da Costa as the two, like, 3/8 or 10s, and then Boniface up front. Let's see how the team does, and this is going to be exciting. Like, it's quite crazy how exciting this episode is going to be in terms of having a match, and it doesn't affect us whatsoever. We're going to finish third. We're in the Champions League, no matter what happens here. And assistant manager says, nothing to lose here, okay. I mean, this is going to be really interesting to see if we can win this. Well, PSG have already scored a goal, so they've already gone a goal up. Mbappe has scored. So we're going to counter-attack here with Boniface. He's got multiple options with him. Preacher has it. There's the Da Costa to Ndiaye, to Garro. Oh, he's giving it away. Could he get hit on the counter? No, we win it back. We give it away again. They're going to break through. Keeper's going to collect it. Ndiaye into Da Costa. Da Costa takes some touches. Gives that to Preacher. Preacher into Ndiaye to Da Costa. Good football. Plays it to Adele. It's cleared away. We get it back again with Merlin, who goes on the outside this time. Plays it across. Boniface. That probably should have been a goal. It's an highlight afterwards. They go long from the goal kick. We win the first one and we get to the second. Preacher into Garro. Garro has options. Adele's on the left-hand side. Plays into Garro. Gives it away. It's poor from Garro. They break on us on the counter. They've got multiple options. They're through. Are they going to score? They do. It's 1-0. Okay, I've just gone to like an actual back four with it to see if it plays any better with that. I'm just sort of testing things really in this game. We're experimenting here. Merlin gets it, plays it into Adele, crosses it into Da Costa. It's going to be headed away. Now, what's going to happen next here? They're going to play out against us quite easily. They're going behind. We should really win that, and we don't really. They're going to get an attack from it, are they? Maybe not now. They've got players up. Now we can easily play out against that, surely. Oh, but actually, you've got to open your body and play to the left there. Preacher into Ndiaye, into Garro, who's got options, to Adele. Adele plays it back into Merlin. Look pretty well set. There's got many options. I could have said that in there. A little progressive pass, all that was required. Goes across the Preacher, it's headed towards Da Costa. Goes through. Is he going to score? Oh, he does, and it's 1-1. Modor throws into Preacher, into Jensen, into Badiashile, into Merlin, into Adele. Goes on the outside, plays into Boniface, is in. Oh, he's hit the post. Long goal kick from them again. Are we going to get to the first? We do. And the second? We do. Da Costa gets it. Plays it into Ndiaye, into Preacher. Preacher goes on the inside. Goes on the or goes through to the half space. Shoots from distance and it's just over. PSG 3-0 up. Mbappe's got effectively like a 5-minute hat-trick there. And, wow. There you go. 1-1 at half-time. We'll say give the fans a send-off. Let's say that. Badiashile gets it. Plays it to Jensen. Jensen stays on it. Options if he wants to use them. Da Costa gets it now. Plays it into Garro. He's got options with him. Adele's in. He's going to score. He's going to score. Rennes have gone 2-1 down. They need to get 2 to win the title. Manchester City have done this 2 times, obviously, in recent history. Now, Rennes have got to do it on the final day. And, wow, I mean, we're trying some stuff here. They've got options to exploit us, and they aren't taking them. We've just scored to go 2-1 up. That is crazy. Okay, they go long from their free kick. Elise has it on the right-hand side for them. Goes in the box. It's cleared away. Garrow. Adele. Back to Christensen. That was a little risky there. In behind. Adele's in behind. They're in trouble here, Ren. They're all over the place. Adele goes through. Cuts inside. He's going to shoot. Oh, the keeper's collected it. And this is an actual highlight, though. This highlight started before the change was made. So we'll see what this is. Oh, they're through. They're through. They're going to have a chance. Ren play it across. Let's go back to the goalkeeper now. They need to press this. What are they doing here? They might lose the title from this. They're playing an unbelievably passive pressing tactic here. I don't know what they're doing, really. Adele's got it. Travels inside. Beats 1. Beats 2. Beats 3. Goes in the box. Boniface. Oh, he survived just. Okay, Jensen's going to kill off. Going to put on Falrazy for his potential send-off game. And the same thing is going to happen to... Oh, should put Samuel in for Ndai? Yeah, let's do that. Mbappe has scored 4 goals for PSG. Wow, PSG are going to win the title from this game. Ren should have won this, really. Wow, maybe it's a good tactic. Maybe it is good. I was just experimenting, really. It's an idea that I had that I didn't want to try in the, heat of the season, really. And I don't really want to start a new season with it, knowing that it might cost us early on. I just thought I'd try it. It works all right. Might be something we go to next season. Like, we battered them, really, in this game. Brun Larsen. Merlin. Brun Larsen. Garrow. Plays it across. Aziz, Yakubu scores, it's 3-1, and Ren have bottled it on the final day, and we're going to give them the title of PSG. I mean, we're not giving them the title. Ren had to play this game anyway. So the way I look at this is, if we would have played this game earlier in the season, we should have got a result against them. They would have lost it anyway. Like, I think we would have drawn the game. Yeah, what the people on Twitter that responded don't know yet, because I haven't said it to anybody yet. You watching this right now would have seen it first, said it first, that Ren have got a Tycoon takeover, right? So it's not the plucky underdog story that we're looking for. If Ren hadn't have had a takeover, it may have been a slightly different story, but there was never any doubt in my mind that we had to try and play somewhat of a first team there. Ren have bottled it. We've cost them the title. We've gifted it to PSG. It doesn't sit well with me a little bit, that, but I couldn't throw the game. Like, I just couldn't throw the game completely there. But that worked all right, that tactic. So it was that effectively there. I might start with this next season, It would need tweaking. But it did all right. I was quite impressed with that. I think I did this, though. Yeah, it was that. Yeah, let's try it next season. Let's go with it. It may need to be tweaking a little bit. Like, you can see how it develops into like a 3-2 shape. It gets a little narrow on the left side because, obviously, inverted wingers coming in, and so is the inverted wing back. So it locks you in a little bit to one side of the pitch. So it's going to be interesting to see how we sort of get out of that problem with this tactic. But we could start with it anyway and see what we do. It's annoying, right? Because either I threw the game and Ren won it, which would have been good, but then it's like, I'm not having Ren win the title before us. Like, they've done nothing to deserve it. Like, I've had one good season with a bunch of money they've thrown into the team. On the flip side to it, like, beating Ren is not enabled PSG to sort of have their bloody fake, fanfare and fake celebrations, etc. Neither way did that feel good to me. So I tried to sort of play it, sort of in the middle where we played seriously, but we tried to experiment, which, if it would have gone wrong, we could have got beat 3, 4, and 5, right? So it definitely gave an advantage, I think, to Ren, but they still got beat anyway. Aziz Yakubu scored, which tells you everything. I mean, he scored 4 goals all season, 3 before that. Okay, that's the end of season review. That's, that was a weird feeling in that game. I didn't like that at all. I didn't enjoy that last game. Okay, I'll see you then in a few days for the end of season review. So, apparently we've lost 200,000 followers on social media. Where have they all gone? To Ren, probably. See, that's why we had to beat him. There you go. So they got actually 200... Wow, we've lost 200. We don't actually know where it's gone, do we? Of course. Played direct football disappointed. I don't care what you think, board, really, to be honest. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Discuss plans for next season. I'm going to say... Yeah, Europa League, we'll say. I mean, it's going to be Champions League, really, isn't it? Neutral, thank you, lads. Okay, so what I don't understand, right, is my boards are trying to sell the club, and now they're going to build a new stadium, which actually could be a good thing. If they can do the stadium first, get it in action, then sell the club, that's the best of both worlds. But we'll see if they can do that. Here we go, then. End of season review 2025 to 2026. The new arrivals. So Boniface is top of the list, I expected. So what a player he's been with an A+. Gary, the B+. Again, it was 2.9 million for... 2.9, that's a really good deal for Boniface. 2 million for Garrow, that's pretty good. He was actually... Garrow, I would say, was almost as good as Da Costa. But I just couldn't get them both into the same team with the tactics that I use this season, right? We use 110 normally. But if we go to that Pep tactic, we could use 2 next season, right? So, potential there. Badiashile had a really good season, 1.8 million. We had some really good signings there. Those top 3 were really good. Yakubu was probably a poor signing, really. Merlin for 3.4 was a really good signing. Christensen, I don't understand why I think he's so good. He's going to be gone next season. Adele was pretty good, especially for next season, being a winger for us. And, yeah, sorry if I'm in the way a little bit here, and I... Yeah, you can see more of the stats there, yeah. So, and then, say Samuel A+ again, which is pretty good. And then finally, the right back, Mulder, who wasn't great, but he's going to be a backup for next season anyway. This season's results, yeah, we did okay. We had a slightly off year, but we had other competitions to be involved in. We should never have lost to Anderlecht in the Champions League. We should never have done that, really. And that was disappointing. But moments to remember, 5-3 win, apparently. Our biggest win was 6-1. And then a goal of the season by Ndai. Finances all went up, which is really important and really, really good for us going into next season. And no surprise, maybe Brun Larsson's a little bit of a surprise for like the bigger shirt sales, but there you are. How he lines up, is that correct? That is pretty much correct for that tactic that we used anyway. Yeah. The accolades, here we go then. So fans player of the season was Boniface. Young player of the season was Preacher. 24 years old, stop doing that, man. Signing of the season was Badiashile at 25 years old, he was a good signing, wasn't he? And Ndai, goal of the season. There we go, some more stuff there. Merlin had 21 assists. Unbelievable stuff, man. No assist by a player in a season. That's a club record by Quinton Merlin. And highest transfer fee received, Mikael Kaufman. That is the highest amount of money the club has ever received for a transfer. So there you go. History in the making. Timelines there. Yeah, and Victor Boniface did actually win the Foreign Player of the Year award. The Uber Eats Foreign Player of the Year award, of course. And that is everything. Some extra money there at the end of the season. What does that put us on now, bank balance-wise? Oh, come on. Where's the budgets at? You see the budget's starting to trend up a little bit now, which is nice. But, yeah, I feel a bit done by this board, to be honest with you. Right, I think this season, what we're going to do is I might look at some player stats. I might do that in the next episode, actually. But I'm not going to look at too many team stats. And the reason being is we had quite a few different tactics that were drastically different in style. I don't think it's going to tell us too much, but we'll look at the player stats. I think in the next episode, I'll do that before I start searching for players. But for this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to conclude with our second player attribute reveal. So we're going to be going back into Season 2 and looking at all the players that we sold in Season 2 and looking at them in their player attribute reveal. So let's get into that and see who we had and who we let go. Here we go then, player attribute reveal. So a quick reminder of the season. We finished 7th place in our first season in the top division, which was pretty good. And that was your best 11 for the season. You've got Nuruddin in goal with Talbi, Farese and Dabila across the back. Hajam and Nayan wing backs. I don't think he was the first choice, but they put him in there anyway. Clement, Lornberg, pivots. Moreno was the 10 with Ego and Neres up front. So players out then. We sold quite a few this season looking at this list. So we're going to go through them all here. Okay, so the first player we're going to look at is Jordan Lefort. Now, he was our left back. He played some games for us, was really like a bit of a backup, wasn't he, for Hadjam and stuff, for the first season anyway. And it was sort of a 625 grand. Let's have a look at Jordan Lefort. So there he is. I mean, he played on the side of the back three as well, didn't he, for us? I mean, he's okay. Nothing special. Probably, you know, a good job that we got rid of him when we did. So there you are. Johan de Monsi he played like a handful of games for us, didn't he? Did he play 15? Okay, 15, that's quite a lot of starts, actually. Playing out as a CDM for us, again, does not look anywhere near good enough for the top division. Now, Cyril Manduki played quite a few games for us, and he looks all right, you know, especially considering it would have been 2 years, you know, a few years prior. He looks pretty good, and he was definitely a good player for us in the second tier in that first season. So probably a really good pivot player for us in that first year that we had. So Cheek Diakate. Now let's see how good Cheek was. He was a good player for us, and okay, he's pretty quick. I don't think he started an awful lot of games for us, but he came off the bench quite a lot, and I always thought he was pretty effective. And yeah, he looks quite good. Like again, I'm thinking more about the first year that we went up, and then maybe early in that second season. I don't know if he even played for us in the Ligue. No, he didn't actually. I think he went on loan. So he looks alright though. He was better than I thought he was. Right, here we go then. Our first Moneyball signing, Marvel the centre-back, or the one that we tried to sign first at the very least from Real Madrid. So he comes in here and we sold him, and let's see how good Marvel was. Oh, it was a bad purchase. It was a bad purchase. I mean, not for a lot of money, I suppose, value-wise. We made 10 grand profit on him, so I suppose it wasn't the worst in the world. Yeah, considering actually, it was a good transfer because it was bring him in, didn't really play, didn't cost us anything, and then we made 10 grand profit on him. So, yeah, but he wasn't very good, was he? Let's be honest about it. Undai, our big centre-back, how good is he? I thought he was better than that. I generally thought he was going to be like a player that we could have kept longer, but I felt like I had to sell him because I felt like I could replace him and use the money for elsewhere, but that is disappointing from Undai. Here we go then. The absolute hero of the first season, Morgan. Now, I wonder what everybody's thinking. The only thing I can remember is on the coach report, it said that he had very good off-the-ball movement, I think is what it said. So expecting his off-the-ball to be high, he must be quick, because he looked like he was quick. And apart from that, I have no idea. Oh, he's pretty good, you know? He's pretty good. Like, if he was a backup striker now, I'd be okay with it. If he's like my fourth choice, fifth choice striker, he's pretty good. Has he done all right since we left him? Not really. But he's pretty good, isn't he, Morgan? Our first Moneyball goalkeeper, Lionel Mpassi, who was really good for us in that second half of the first season. Now, what did we buy with Mpassi? Well, he was quick. He's very, very quick for a goalkeeper. And that is about it. We got a little fortunate. That could have cost us badly. I mean, he's got positioning, which is okay. And he's quick. It wasn't too bad. His handling is terrible. If his positioning had been like, I don't know, 8... instead of 11, we could have been in trouble with conceding a lot of goals from the chances we conceded. Yves Dabila, who was our starting centre-back in the first season again, and he was a really good player for us. Let's see how good he was. Okay, so he's a bit more like what I thought Undai would be. Maybe, again, still not quite as good as I thought. He's only 29 now, so like he's not really that good. He's good for Ligue 2, but maybe not good enough for the top division here in France. But there you go. One of the early legends of the team, we have got Patrick Kofi, or Kofi, however you want to pronounce it. How good was young Kofi? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I kept him for a couple of seasons. He made a lot of appearances in that first league season for us, and he was awful, to be fair. So it was a good choice to sell him, but he's bad, isn't he? Well, he went from playing in Ligue 1 to playing in the National League, which I don't know what tier that is really here. It was only 2 league starts, but he did come off the bench a lot. Another legend of the team, Ruben Mesa. Did we sell him that early? I guess it was after 1 season, right? But Ruben Mesa, here we go. Okay. Like, subtracting a couple of years, I bet he was slightly quicker, so a pretty good player. And again, we'll see all the players as they were at the time in the very last episode together, right? Or a stream, whatever it's going to be. So we'll get the chance to see it as they were. But for now, he looks all right, to be fair, Ruben Mesa. Yeah, he did pretty well for us in his 2 seasons. And helped us get promoted. Good link-up player. Had really good average rating in the first season. Struggled a little bit in the second, but did what he could. Okay, then Samir, our quick central defender, had 2 very, very good seasons with us. Don't forget, although it says season 2, this is like at the end of season 2, right? So that's having played 2 seasons, the first season and the end of the second. So Samir, what did you do for us? Tackling of 9, okay. I thought he was terrible in the air. Okay, so heading 9, jumping reach 11, strength 10. That computes. I don't necessarily remember him being so bad at tackling or so good at passing, but there you go. And he's done all right in Liga. That's probably his level in the second tier, isn't it? Maybe on the side of a back 3 in the top division, maybe, but not really. So there you are. Maxime Bernauer, pretty average. How much was selling for? $1 million. I've been happy with that in retrospect. That's a good deal for us. I think we got a lot of money for him. I think we sold with him at the height of his value, and he probably wouldn't have got much more for that, I think, from him. I think his valuation is slightly high now because he plays in England in a league that's got high rep and it's expensive, etc. Right? Okay, then last one, Gory, the quick in-behind striker. How good was he? He looked like he was pretty good for us, but how good was he really? He was good at what he does. Acceleration, pace, finishing, that's it. Nothing else. That pretty much sums him up. And yeah, he did okay. First season, he was brilliant. Second season, he was just a sub player, really, wasn't he? And he's not really scored much since either. And yeah, well, there you go. That is your player attribute reveal for season 23 to 24. And yeah, it was interesting. Every year that goes by, we just get closer and closer to those players that we've seen really do like extraordinary things. And we get to see just how we did in our own transfers, bringing in players and selling them, of course. And that is going to finish our episode. When we come back in the next one, it's going to be literally the next couple of days. We're going to start to look at who we're going to bring in, who we're going to look to sell, and go through some of the player stats. We're going to all the team stats for this year, like I said. How we're going to recruit. We could probably do the 3-team thing yet again, because now we've got 2 teams that isn't this season. We've now got 2 teams up there that have got the Tycoon takeovers, plus our own stats again, or we can start to look at FM Stag stats, or maybe even a different way. And we'll go through that in the next episode. In any case, massive thank you from me for watching. Hope you enjoyed the series, and I'll see you all next time.